Hi, I'm Anne Marie with the Oregon Farm Bureau, and welcome to this episode of Fred Talks. Today, we're discussing the important issue of mental health, and with us today is
Lacy Singhose from Burns. In 2018, I was the Harney County Fair Queen, and about halfway through my reign, I decided to use my platform to create awareness for something that was really important to not just me, but that affects everybody. And I decided to do mental health. It was something that was affecting me at the time, and it was something I was pretty new to, but I knew a lot of people were struggling with it as well.
As the rodeo queen, what kind of things were you able to do to highlight it?
We had custom-made wristbands that were handed out all around our fair during the time. It said mental health awareness on one side, and then the other side, it said hashtag fight the stigma. We also had a custom-made banner that we flew in between events at the rodeo. And then I also had a lot of opportunities to speak with multiple people about that cause.
What were some of the key messages of your speech?
That it's okay to not be ashamed of mental illness. It's definitely something that everybody struggles with. Every single one of us has mental health, and it's definitely something that you can't really see with somebody, but it doesn't mean that it's not there. There's such a stigma around it. The more you talk about it, the more aware you make of people of it. It's not something that's such a taboo topic to talk about. It's opening up to a friend, a family member, a teacher, a coach, whatever it may be. Just opening up to one person will definitely make a difference. Just letting people know, hey, I struggle with this. Check up on me once in a while. Sometimes I'll get one way or another. Building that support system helps a lot.
So what was the response? Were people open to that, or maybe surprised that a rodeo queen would focus on such an important issue that has maybe had a bit of stigma around it historically?
So I was really nervous about sharing my story, especially to just such a small community. After I did, I got so much positive responses and feedback. And so many people, random people, just came up to me and shared their story. And not only did I feel like that I wasn't alone, but also I was able to make them feel like they weren't alone as well.
What were some of the issues you were struggling with?
I've had depression for almost 3 years now. That was something that I was really struggling with at the time. And then I've also had anxiety for the last 10 years. Those are probably the most common throughout mental health, and so I think they're pretty important to definitely bring up to the community.
Tell us some more about the platforms that you're working on. Sounds like Facebook and a podcast coming up.
So on Facebook, it's Mental Health Awareness Lacy Singhose. I post all of my information, updates. I'll also write short little articles and motivational stuff, and I'll post it on that Facebook page. And I also share a lot of resources on there as well, just places to find help and symptoms and things to look at with depression and anxiety. And so this fall I am coming out with a podcast, kind of just share those deeper levels and really dive into that topic.
Mental health is a huge issue, a problem, even a crisis in rural America today. American Farm Bureau launched the Rural Resilience Campaign. Here at Oregon Farm Bureau, we're trying to help also share those resources. Our website is oregonfb.org/rural resilience. And in there, we've compiled all the useful links. You went through the rural resilience training. Can you tell us a bit about it?
So I went through it. It took about 3 hours. And throughout that course, I learned a lot of different types of symptoms and ways to help farmers and ranchers and how to recognize those problems. Mood changes, definitely just a change in your personality almost, of just acting differently. I think stress levels really will change on that, being more emotional. For me, one of my first symptoms was not being able to concentrate. I think that's something. I was taking a test in chemistry and I just couldn't concentrate at all. It varies between person and person, but overall there's so many symptoms and so many ways to be able to detect any type of mental illness. Also, just going to your primary doctor, letting them know what's going on, and they may recommend prescription or a medication to help you. They may also recommend therapy, which also has helped me a lot personally. And so there's a lot of solutions for everybody. Everybody's different, and there's so many options out there.
And are you still the rodeo queen, or just tell us about that whole experience?
In 2018, that's when my Harney County title was. There's different kinds of categories that you compete in There's horsemanship, personality, speech. As a rodeo queen, a really important characteristic you have is just to ride a horse really well. And I've grew up riding horses and doing ranch work on them. It was definitely kind of transition to going from just doing ranch work to rodeo queen stuff, but it's definitely something anybody can learn how to do, and it just takes a lot of time and practice. We get to travel around to rodeos, and we do run-ins and parades, and we get to speak at a lot of events and host fundraisers, and we get sponsored from all kinds of local businesses around our hometowns. We basically get to represent rodeo in the way of life of cowboys and cowgirls, and it's definitely something that I love doing. And it's not even just rodeo, it's agricultural in general, and just representing that way of life.
Some people just don't realize things like rodeo queens, dairy princesses, just in general 4-H and FFA are so much about leadership training and development.
I actually was really involved in 4-H and FFA. I was probably 9 when I started 4-H and all the way to my senior year of high school. And so it's something that I took a lot of part in, I took a lot of pride in, and it definitely has built me into the person I am today.
So tell us about your background.
I've been involved in agriculture my entire life. I started riding before I could even walk. It was something my mom grew up doing, and I'll help when we do cows and, moving them, gathering them, vaccinating, branding, whatever it may be. We also have our hay ranch as well, so sometimes I'll be cutting and raking and just helping the family out in any way that I possibly can.
What are you doing now? Are you still in school?
I just finished up my first year of college at Eastern Oregon University. This coming year, I'll be transferring to Montana State University. My original plan was to do athletic training, but I'm kind of considering going a different way and working towards mental health a lot more, and really setting my life to be an advocate for mental health. Also, as right now, I'm a wildland firefighter for the BLM.
Do you respond when a fire breaks out?
I'm on an engine crew. As an engine, you're basically the mobile attack of a fire. Basically, what they say is that you have to outthink the fire and, in a way, manipulate it to do what you want it to do. The engines typically carry water, and so we'll do a mobile attack. There's also, mop up and just making sure that the fire is completely put out or whatever it may be. Sometimes we'll have to do back burns to burn that extra fuel that's in between us and the fire. It really just depends on the location and what the weather's doing.